It is Sunday, which means time for another episode of How's My Budget? And it's a pretty crazy one this week because over the past 7 days, I moved from Buenos Aires, Argentina to the southern part of Chile in the Patagonia region. I drove over 1,000 kilometers, or actually, well, it was over 1,000 kilometers. I drove 1,000 miles, but over 1,000 kilometers also. And it took me 3 days. I saw some beautiful landscapes and I spent a lot of money on gas, hotels, my dog, paying for her to stay at special pet-friendly hotels and stuff like that. So it's been a pretty crazy week, and I want to say that if you're new to this channel, my budget is like this. I have a $5,000 salary that I'm expecting to come in every single month, and this is my household income, and I'm spending $1,000 a month on groceries. I'm spending $348 a month on my wants. I'm spending $668 a month on my expenses, $1,200 on rent, and then I save $1,000 depending on if I have something to save or not, or if I'm trying to cash flow some stuff for the week, kind of like my travel stuff going on right now. And ultimately, though, at the end of the month, I'm specifically trying to invest $784 of all of my money. So, yeah, welcome to an episode of How's My Budget? For the rest of you, you know me, I'm Jacob. I'm building wealth for me and my family. I am now at $676,000 for my entire net worth, which is pretty crazy because just 2 weeks ago, I put up one of these episodes of How's My Budget, and I'm wearing a bathrobe and drinking some coffee, and I was at $636,000. So up $40,000 in 2 weeks. The market has been popping off. S&P 500 at all-time highs. If you've been here for a while, you know that I'm heavily invested in the S&P 500 index funds. I also love VTI, VGT. These stocks are also at all-time highs. So if you like investing content, if you like budgeting content, debt-free living, I'm debt-free, I'm 28, I'm living it up. I'm driving across South America. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm bringing more content like this all the time. So let's dive into it. You all know my grocery bill for the week, whenever I divide it up by that $1,000, I'm trying to spend $250 a week for my groceries. So was I on budget this week? And let's put in those numbers. I was at $175. I was trying to spend $250 for the week. On my wants, I'm trying to spend $87 a week, that $348 a month. And this week was pretty crazy. It came in at $301. So we'll go through the technicalities on how I can adjust some of these numbers and where I'm going to play with the numbers. It's kind of my favorite part of budgeting. A budget is a license to spend money. It's basically your guide to investing and living a rich, wealthy life. But you can play with it. You can cook your own books. You're not a public company or anything, and you'll see. Playing with the numbers, cooking your own books, you can still get away with it at the end. Expenses. I'm trying to spend $167 for the week, and those came in at $189. So also a little up, but I'm still going to be more focused on that bigger number at the end of the month of $668. So this weekly number, it can fluctuate every week. I'm not too worried about it. On the rent side of things, I'm living in an Airbnb right now, and I have this place booked out for a few months. So whenever I originally booked it back in May, I did already pay, and I was trying to keep it around $1,200, but it came in at $1,231. But this Airbnb is pretty nice. It's 2 bedrooms, has a lot of light. I'm out here in the mountain landscape. It's my wife and I, our dog. I got a German Shepherd, and it's spacious. And the number does fluctuate month by month because the owner of the Airbnb sometimes says that some months are higher in demand because you can go skiing here, and we are in winter right now, so some months it's higher, and other months it goes below $1,200 on the pay scale that Airbnb gave me and that the owner of the place has set up. So this is going to fluctuate a bit, but I like it. I think it's good. I just have to give and take some places. I have to, maybe spend a little bit less on wants, which I'm failing miserably at this week, but it's okay. The 1,200 is just a rough number I'm trying to hit. On the net worth, so I'm at $676,000. This is blowing my mind. This is great. I'm definitely on track to hit this $1 million mark by the time I'm 32, which is really my goal. And then after that, just keep getting richer. And my emergency fund, I started putting this in because I do believe in an emergency fund. Everyone needs to have one of these in place. Whenever you're just getting out of debt or you're starting at zero, an emergency fund is what's going to keep you from going back into debt in case an emergency happens, right? Or it's going to be something that just keeps you afloat, basically to keep you from going into debt. But whenever you start building wealth like me and you get a big stock portfolio, my net worth, $676,000, well, let's say that my job just disappears. I'm not making money anymore. Nothing's coming in. Well, the emergency fund is supposed to cover about 3 months worth of salary. So this is a little bit higher. I have it 16,433. 5,000 times 3 is 15,000, but it's okay. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm just going to keep it there for now. So let's dig into these numbers a little bit more. Get onto the technical side of how I can actually meet my investment goals, because at the end of the month, I really just want to have that $784 there. These are just week by week projections that I'm trying to hit on my week, because it's like, if every week, the closer I am to my number on hitting the weekly number, I'm more likely going to come into my monthly goals at the end. So we can see down here at the bottom, I am trying to spend $1,000 a month on groceries. I'm at $175.32 so far. That's how much I spent for the week. Those once down here at the bottom, 301, whatever. So all the numbers we just went through. Now, what can I do to get back on budget? And I'm specifically going to go through here and kind of recategorize some things and move some numbers over from some spots and put them over here. So I do want to show you some of the fun things that I spent my money on, because a budget's also supposed to show you that you can still have fun with life. It's not supposed to be restricting how you spend your money and how you have fun. You're supposed to have fun. You're just supposed to like choose what you want to spend your money on, prioritize what's worth spending your money on. So this week I went to the butcher shop. I bought a lot of meat, over $34 at one butcher shop. And then I bought some more at just a regular grocery store. But I love cooking. I love cooking for my family. I love cooking for myself. I rarely go out to eat, which helps me save a lot of money on terms of just like my wants. I can buy cool camera stuff, or I don't know, I don't do whatever, okay? but I don't go out to restaurants that much, and I just love to cook. So that helps me a lot. I also have on this, okay, this is a little embarrassing, and I was like, should I actually say this? Give me 1 second, let me go get it. Okay, I have this special deodorant because I sweat like a pig. I had to spend $14 just on this deodorant, but you know, it's like, do I want to sweat and have my white t-shirts turn yellow or spend $14? And this is part about being an adult. Sometimes we have to spend money on things we don't want to spend our money on, like stupid deodorant, but it's just a part of it. The money's got to come from somewhere and go from somewhere, and we still got to budget it and account for it. And yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. Okay, so I do have basically almost, I don't know, $250 minus $175. I have like $75 left that I could move from some of these other categories and put over here. We'll go through them. So this week I also spent $21 at the gym. I put this in my wants. Normally I put it in my expenses, but the thing is that I was paying for these day passes since I was up in between Buenos Aires and coming to Chile, and I don't have an actual gym yet that I'm going to and paying a monthly expense for, so I was paying $7 a day for these daily passes. So I just kind of put them in my wants, and again, money's got to come from somewhere and go somewhere. And the other things, my wife got her nails done. I also got these polo boots, and I went to what I believe is called a cobbler. Is that somebody who makes shoes, or do they just fix shoes? Do cobblers make shoes and fix shoes? Or do you only fix shoes? Are you also a cobbler? I don't know. But I went to a guy who fixes shoes. I don't think he makes shoes. And I took my polo leather boots. I love these things. I've had them for 10 years. They're in great shape, but they've been getting dry. So Nicholas at the Zapateria, maybe he's a cobbler, I don't know, but he fixes shoes, and he made these things look pristine. They are great. Actually, let me go get those too. All right, here we are with those boots. I love these things. They're just, I can smell the fresh leather. He cleaned them. They look so much better. They were so dry before, but yeah, these things are, I don't know if we can see here, I love these. There we are. They're so sick. I try not to buy a lot of name brand stuff, but Polo, Ralph Lauren, it's got my heart. They just make amazing clothing. It's so timeless, and the leather goods too. I've quite a few shoes from Polo I've had for like multiple years, and I keep buying them. But I budget for it. I live a good life, and I just make sure that I buy nice things that I like, and I don't settle for things I don't like. All right, I got some dog toothpaste also for my dog. Cost $7.33, and she needs her teeth brushed. She's always got some plaque issues. She has to go to the vet every so often, get her teeth cleaned. More than a regular dog, so I'm constantly brushing her teeth. Again, money I don't really want to spend, but things I do have to spend to kind of just maintain her health. Now, on the road, here's where the traveling got really expensive coming from Argentina down here to Chile. Was I stayed at 2 different hotels. One was only $46. It wasn't very nice, but they accepted pets, and it was kind of strange because I was expecting it to actually be more expensive because they accepted pets, but it was like one of the few in this town out in the middle of nowhere that accepted pets, and they also happened to be the cheapest. It was a little creepy. I didn't sleep well, and my dog kept staring at like this 1800s looking chair that was in the corner. Maybe it was haunted. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't sleep well, and I left pretty early the next morning. Second hotel was pretty nice. I spent $91.45 for it. Again, just a normal hotel. I got like the cheapest option I could. In this town I stayed at, it was actually the cheapest option that did allow dogs. So more than that $46.80 was $91. But it's fine. You know, I get to stay in a hotel with my dog, which is always fun. So on the road, I mentioned I don't really go out to eat very often. Actually, never. I can't remember the last time I went out to eat that wasn't on a vacation. And I went out to eat on the road, and it's fun because, you know, like you're on the road, so you have to eat, and you get to go out to eat, and then you feel kind of less guilty about spending money going out to eat. And I ate a lot of food when I was on the road. At one point, we ordered 3 dishes for just my wife and I, but we were so hungry. All day, all I ate was peanuts. And I try to stay somewhat healthy on the road, but whenever I was just starving like that, I said, give me whatever you have. Give me actually 3 plates of it. We had 2-for-1 pasta, and then we got another big old pork dish. And yeah, so buying a lot of food on the road. 2 dinners actually totaled about $100. We got each one $98.80. Then we got this ham and cheese sandwich that we bought. They call them tostados. Spent $10 for that. So all in all, we actually spent $412 on traveling. We spent a lot of money on gas. Just adding up all the money we spent on gas right here. $114 on gas alone. And the whole trip actually cost us $412, but because I do my budgets from Sunday, so June 29th to Friday, July 5th, we had our last travel day yesterday, which was Saturday, so some of that cost went on now the new budget for the week. So we were able to not do so bad here. I mean, the 301 could have easily been like $400 just on these ones. So we got some work to do, though. This is where the fun comes in. I like to cook the books, if you want to call it like that. And I'm going to move some things around from my wants to my groceries. So I really just need my groceries to come in at $250, right? It doesn't matter if it's actually $250 on groceries or anything. It's just that at the end of the month, I want to have my $784 invested in the stock market or more. So I'm going to do $250 minus $175. That gives me $74.68. So I'm just going to put $74.68. And let's take off some of these things like my dog's toothpaste. Okay, so let's do this. We'll do 7.33. And then we'll take the dog toothpaste out of here. We'll do another one. Oh, shoot. We'll do another one. Let's do this hotel right here also. How much is that? All right, there's 54. And then we'll take that hotel off. Let's take off the gym. That's 21. Right there, 75.13. Okay, so that's $1 equals 75.13 minus 74.68. What the heck? 75.13 minus 74.68. Why does that not work, guys? 75.13 minus 74.68. 45 cents over. Okay, so we got to leave 45 cents right here. All right, there we go. So we took off the dog toothpaste, took off the hotel, pretty much took off that gym, and we'll just put travel right there. So we came in at $250. Now we really still need to get this $226 down to $87. What can we do? Well, this is what we're going to do. I have a travel budget that I use to save for when I know I have travel coming up, or really if there's anything coming up, because I don't believe in just saving aimlessly for nothing. That's called investing. Whenever you're saving for the unknown, that's called investing. You invest your money, you let it grow into the unknown because you just don't know what's coming in the future. So saving, though, is supposed to have a specific goal. Normally, I travel a lot like I am right now, but on vacations, maybe go to an all-inclusive, or I'm going to go on a dive trip to Galapagos or something like that. So I save my money back gradually. But because right now I don't really need to save the money, I can just cash flow this. There was no need to save this. I know my check's coming in at the end of the week, or at the end of the month, sorry, for the $5,000. I can just cash flow this. I don't need to save $1,000 to just kind of live my day in and day out life for this travel stuff whenever I can cash flow it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of this stuff over to this travel side of things. There we go. We're going to get rid of it right here. Well, that only leaves me with $26.45. I don't think I need to move so much. Let's go back. Let's only move Hotel 2 and see where that puts us. All right, now we are going to be at 135. Let's move this ham and cheese sandwich. All right, we're going to put it over here too. 1020. Let's get that off here. And then let's take off the boots and nails. There we go. $26 gone. And then we'll get rid of the gym, which is 45 cents. There we are. And that leaves us with this dinner 1 and 2. So let's just do 87 minus 98.8. All right, minus 1180. So we need to move $11.80 over here. All right, and then we'll put this at $87. So now we're on budget. Now we have $250 a week for groceries. We have our wants at $87. We have our expenses at $189.21. My real expenses for the month were really like, we could say this gas for the car. This was what I filled up before I left on my trip. And then these other ones that we have on during the trip, I can move these over to travel too. But for now, I'm just going to leave them on the expenses because really all I need is at the end of the month, I need my expenses to come in at $668. Right now I'm at $189.21 for the month. And now you can see I'm at $250 for the month on the groceries, $87 for the month on the wants. And I just need these numbers to come in on the monthly. So if I have to move these over, then I might at the end, but for now I'm okay. So do you see what I'm doing though? I'm not saving, I'm just cash flowing my life right now. And if I hit all of these numbers, ultimately if I spend $250 every week on the groceries, and this comes in to $1,000 for the groceries right here, and then if I hit the $348, and then if I hit the $668 for the expenses, my rent's $1,200. Obviously, it's going to be over a little bit, or it's not going to be over a little bit. I'm only actually paying $1,199 this month because this month's already been paid for. But going into next month on Airbnb schedule, I'm going to be able to invest my $784. I just can't let this number get over $1,000, and it's all good. So that's how it works. This is just cash flowing my life right now. So yeah. That's it, guys. This is how it works. This is how you save money, how you get on a budget, how you're able to build your financial life and have financial freedom. I'm feeling super good right now. I've been wanting to live in Patagonia for the past 6 years. I first visited in 2019. I've had to work for it. I've had to grind for it. I've had to say no to a lot of stuff. I haven't settled for anything I haven't wanted. And I just set back as much money as I can all the time because I wanted to get here sooner rather than later. Now, this is what I've been working towards myself. You need to have something out there that you're working towards also, because if you don't have a dream, if you don't have anything that you're working towards, nothing to grind for, you're not going to come in here and do your budget. You're not going to come in here and stick to a budget. You have no reason to say no to things in life if you have nothing that you're working towards. You're just out there aimlessly spending money. So think of a dream. Think of something big. Think of something that is going to require hard work, persistence, discipline, and money, right? I mean, this is all about having money at the end of this so I can live my dream and so you can live yours too. So I hope this helped. I hope that you can now go through your budget. You can say no to things this week so you can get to a bigger, better place in the future, just like I am. And we're going to be millionaires together. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and see you on the next one.